Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel. Andre here. Welcome to another part of our 5-part tour of Egypt. What if I told you there was a place that made the pyramids look basic, simple, uninspired? A place so elaborate, so intricate, so vast that the pyramids just kind of look like a big pile of rocks.
Complex of pylons, obelisks, courts, halls, and inner chambers was 2,000 years in construction.
Welcome to Karnak. To say that a temple like Hatshepsut, where we were earlier today, is large and imposing is an understatement unto itself. But then when you look at a place like this defies the frame of reference for a temple or a ruin or a facility. This is basically a city unto itself. What the pyramids are able to do in just sheer force of will and size, this place makes up for in size, scale, scope, complexity. Just the sheer magnitude of this place covers acres, employed thousands of people, not just to build, but to maintain and to operate as a religious center. And then when you consider that all of the pillars, all of the columns, all of the obelisks were colored, like the inside of the tombs that we were in at the Valley of the Kings. You think about all that, and then you think about the columns that aren't here anymore, the obelisks that aren't here anymore, the bricks that are broken. The fact that any of this is still here is amazing, but the fact that so much of it is here and so much of it is preserved is a testament to the craftsmanship and the construction, just everything else that was at work here. It's really just, I don't even know what to say. This is the pillar courtyard, or the column courtyard, and it contains 134 individually constructed, individually detailed, and inscribed columns, each telling a different story or a different variation of a story. The information contained on these columns spanned decades and centuries and told all sorts of stories and presented all sorts of information about the pharaohs, about the kings. And so much of it has been lost to time, either through defacement or just general wear and tear from erosion, wind, sand, not to mention all of the colors that have been lost here. It's just one big room full of brown. By itself, just like this, it's awe-inspiring. But when you think the extra level of what's not here anymore, there's no way to describe the feeling of just looking at this space. A lens can't possibly capture the sheer scale and scope of this place. We're very fortunate that we're here at the right time of day where the sun looks so good and all of the lighting looks great here. But just understanding how huge this place is, there's no way to tell you, there's no way to convey it unless you're actually physically here. I think the biggest takeaway for me from Karnak was just how elaborate and sophisticated ancient Egyptian civilization must have been. It's one thing to build something like the pyramids. If you throw enough time and manpower, eventually you're gonna get there. But to build, maintain, and operate something so vast, so sophisticated as Karnak, which is basically a city unto itself. Karnak was designed over hundreds of years and contributed to by over 30 different pharaohs and has been there for almost 3,000 years. It's absolutely incredible. The next and final stop on our Nile cruise was right smack dab in the middle of downtown Luxor, the Luxor Temple. You drive past this place constantly as you cruise around the city, and we were lucky enough to check it out at night.
The Temple of Luxor was constructed during the height of the Empire period, over 3,000 years ago.
I'm standing outside the Luxor Temple. And by far, I think this is probably one of the most eaten away at facilities that we've seen so far. I think this is one of the places that has probably been the most abused over time, and part of that is probably because of the different governments, the different religions, the different systems that have come through here. We just finished looking at a section that was completely remodeled by none other than Alexander the Great to promote his own image during the Greco-Roman period when they had essentially taken proxy control over Egypt. You can hear in the background traffic going by. We passed a wedding party earlier, which was actually just a very long procession of horse-drawn carriages because there's literally a road just on the other side of that wall. You can see behind me there are street lights, there are traffic lights, and there's people walking by, which just shows you how centrally located this temple is in modern day Luxor. Just beyond that wall is a pier. So again, we're not talking about a remote place that you have to drive to, you have to hike through mountains or anything like that. This is literally downtown. One of the other notable parts of the Luxor Temple is the fact that there's not only a mosque inside of the temple, but there's also a Christian church, which really adds a dimension of multiculturalism that maybe you wouldn't assume would be here. But again, it just shows how history has affected these locations and how over time they've had to adapt to whoever was in charge of the area. First time we've been to one of these places at night, so being able to see not only the difference in lighting, obviously, but just the way that the whole place, the whole atmosphere changes. When it really makes you shift your perspective and think about just the physical properties of the pillars in a different way, in a way that maybe you wouldn't have before, because you're not seeing everything in the bright, hot desert sun. And then from a romantic perspective, it just adds a certain ambiance, a certain flair, a certain mystery to the location. It's one thing to go to these places out in the middle of the secluded desert, but to see one dropped smack dab in the middle of a city with streetlights and cars driving by, the contrast between old and new is just so incredible. It really underscores for you just how much things have changed over the last several thousand years of this place's history. It's absolutely incredible. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. There are 4 other parts to our Egypt adventure, so make sure you check those out. In the meantime, hit the like button, show me some love, hit the subscribe button because there are new videos coming every week, and I will see you will see me in the next video.